Dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, today, the 9th of September, Holy Mother the Church calls us to the memory of Saint Peter Claver. Saint Peter Claver was born in Barcelona to a Spanish farmer in the year 1581. As he grew, he joined the novitiate at the age of 20, and there he met Alphonsus Rodriguez in Morjaco. And looking at him, he also wanted to become a Jesuit missionary. And that's how he ended up in Central America, Cartagena, where he would spend the rest of his life, 44 years, at the service of people there. You have to listen to this small thing. You know how colonialism worked. The European countries went to the Americas and to the Indias, and they took the they took the spices, the raw material from there. They went back to their land, produced the final product, and came and sold in the same place. And for all of these, who were necessary? First, the merchants, and second, slaves. The merchants were basically from the European countries, and the slaves were from the African countries. And this is the story of Saint Peter Claver and the Negroes. In Africa, there were many petty kings who would, for some amount, sell their slaves, their own subjects, as slaves to these merchants. And they used to sell them at huge numbers, lakhs of them. But because of the voyage from Africa to the Americas, many of them used to die on the ship. And even if 100 of them reached the shore of the Americas once a month, that was good for the merchants because they would utilize them. The life of these Negroes was of no value, and no one cared for them. And one white person who cared for them was Peter Claver. He would get into these ships and go, and he used to nurse the wounds of these people. Everyone looked at him as a mad person because, according to them, a dog's life has much more value than that of a Negro. But Peter Claver saw them as humans, and he catered to their need. He would be them, he would lead them, and he would see that they are safe. And this is what he did. And the kings didn't like, the people in Europe didn't like, and sometimes even the in charges, the head in the church, they also came to block his service. But he didn't stop. He went on, not only in the ship but also in the land. He went to the Africas, there he served them. Then in the Central Americas, especially wherever the Negro settlements were there, he settled with them. And he baptized 3 lakh Negroes. And he used to go and then administer the sacrament of marriage to them. He used to see that they live a good Catholic life. And that's how Peter Claver lived his life for God. And in the year 1854, after spending 44 years in the vineyard of Lord, serving these Negroes, he died. And in the year 1888, he was canonized by Pope Leo XIII, along with his friend Alexandro Rodriguez, Alphonsus Rodriguez. So Saint Alphonsus Rodriguez, who inspired Saint Peter Claver, was canonized along with him. So dear friends, what does Saint Peter Claver teach us? He teaches us to swim across against the current, not go with the flow. If all the world hates good people, if they hate somebody, we also should not just get with the crowd and hate people basically for no reason. He didn't take the side of the people who hated the Negroes, who termed Negroes as inhuman, but he saw humanity in them and he brought them up. Dear friends, now slave trade and all the things is the thing of past, but if you can just imagine with me and see how inhuman it was for a Negro at that time to exist, even how difficult and dangerous it was to be a Negro at that time, especially in that Central America, in that region. And here a white person who was battling, fighting it out for them. So what am I? Going with the flow or fighting it out for people who are low? Amen.